Hi, I'm Dr. Huntington and welcome to my video tutorial. You or your child has been recently diagnosed with asthma. The purpose of this particular video tutorial is to give you, an asthma sufferer or a parent, a basic idea of what sorts of things bring on asthma. We call these factors triggers. We will also go through what you may experience during an asthma attack so that you can learn to recognize it. This is Yash. He currently has the common cold. According to the Asthma Foundation, colds make up almost 80% of reported cases of asthma attacks. They can be spread through the air via coughs and sneezes. If you feel you may be exposed to catching a cold, and if it's one of your triggers, wash your hands regularly. Try to keep surfaces clean if you live with someone who is unwell, and avoid sharing personal items with those who are infected. In this case, Yash's cold has aggravated his asthma. Notice how he is coughing. Continual coughs can be a symptom of asthma. Also notice how he clutches at his chest. Some of the symptoms of asthma we can see here are tightness of the chest and coughing. Here we have Yash again talking to his friend Rudolph. Rudolph is a smoker and the exposure has triggered Yash's asthma. Smoke exposure is another very common trigger of asthma. Additionally, continual exposure as the years roll on, either passively or first-hand, can decrease lung function and leave you more susceptible to develop a sinister lung disease. Young asthmatic children are especially sensitive to the effects of smoke, so minimizing exposure by shielding them from smoke, getting parents, guests or relatives to smoke outside, or by encouraging quitting altogether would be great for both parties involved. This is Alex. He's out exercising. Exercise-induced asthma can be quite common. Exercise is also an important part of life, so proper management of your asthma, as we'll show in the next video, will mean you shouldn't find yourself in a situation of an exercise-induced asthma attack too often. Here we can also see some of Alex's symptoms: shortness of breath as he struggles for air and tightness of chest. And he's also experiencing an expiratory wheeze, which is basically wheezing when you breathe out. This is one of the major and one of the most common and recognizable symptoms of asthma. Let's actually take a closer listen to what this may sound like. This is Sophia. She's an asthmatic and unfortunately doesn't realize that one of her triggers is exposure to animal dander. Here again we can see her asthma playing up. She's starting to fall short of breath, and she may even be noticing an expiratory wheeze. However, when it comes to animals, sweat, saliva, hair and even urine can all be possible allergens presenting themselves as triggers. To help a situation, she could let the pet play outdoors, keep it away from her bedroom area and vacuum the house regularly. Similarly, things such as dust may also act as a trigger. This can be helped by regular vacuuming, buying dust covers, and keeping the house clean. Just to add a reminder about symptoms, notice how Yash is shuffling in his seat as he struggles for air. Pollen may also act as a trigger, especially during spring, so checking what types of plants you're growing and staying indoors on windy days can minimize your exposure. Notice here how Kirsten is coughing, struggling for breath as she's short of breath, and clutching at her chest due to tightness. She would also be experiencing an expiratory wheeze, meaning the symptoms you've learnt about today can occur simultaneously and aren't necessarily isolated. Other common triggers may include seasonal changes as well as temperature changes in the air. Often asthmatics can be sensitive to cold, dry air, so buying a humidifier, organizing appropriate heating or temperature control in the workplace or schools, and even insulating the house can help keep a constant temperature and avoid these triggers. Finally, the last of the 4 common triggers we'd like to show you is exposure to certain types of chemicals. This can be applicable around the house or at the workplace, so identifying what you're sensitive to, then wearing gloves or a mask is important for prevention. Here again, just to revise our symptoms, we can see Yash being short of breath as he struggles for air. He would also be having an expiratory wheeze, one of the major symptoms of asthma.